Do you know which B flat fingering you're going to use? No! Just kidding. Of course, my own students always know exactly which B flat fingering they're going to use. As flute players, we don't have a lot of notes with a lot of different fingering options. We usually have one standard fingering and maybe an alternate fingering, but usually we know how we're going to play an F or an E or a D. But the one note that's a big exception is B flat, because we have not one, but 3 fingerings that are all quite standard. The first thing is to know that there are 3, because a lot of students actually only know about 2. Sometimes I'll even get new college freshmen who have a big epiphany when I explain to them the 3rd way to do B flat. But the 2 others are the ones that you should know right away and know when to use them. So the first option is your thumb B flat. And this is the first way that I was taught. My first teacher was the principal flute of the Bountiful High School Band, and she was a friend of my older sister. And when she taught me B flat, she told me, you're gonna run into people who tell you to play B flat a different way. But don't listen to them, don't do it, because this is so much easier. She told me the other way is this first finger on your right hand, but she said, so now you know, but don't use it, because look how much easier it is to use your thumb. You don't have to keep moving this finger on and off. And so she really carefully sold the thumb B flat to me. Well, when I got to my second teacher, probably as a countermeasure, she asked me, how do you play B flat? And I said, I always use my thumb. And she said, no, you should never use your thumb. No! Because what if you have to play a B natural? You're going to have to slide your thumb off that key. Or what if you have to play a high F sharp? You can't get it to come out if your thumb is on the B flat key. It won't sound good. So she said, always use your right hand first finger for your B flats. And it wasn't actually until I got to my 3rd flute teacher that she told me, use both. Look at the context, see which one works best, and make your own best choice about which of those 2 to use. And then it was my own epiphany that I figured out there's a 3rd way to play B flat. No teacher actually ever told me, but you have this B flat lever. It might be confusing on my flute because I also have a C sharp trill key, but this is the B flat lever, and it is intended to be used. And I didn't know until I owned a flute for many years. My guess is that most or all of you who are out there watching right now understand about using your B flat thumb lever, or as an alternative, keeping your thumb on this B natural lever and using your right hand first finger for B flat. But there are probably some of you who don't know about this right hand B flat lever. So I'm going to explain it a little bit. The advantage of using this lever instead of just pushing this key down is that for the notes on your left hand, you can push this down and it doesn't make any difference. If you play G, A flat, or A with this push down, it doesn't change it. Whereas, of course, you can't just leave this finger down. You'll get the wrong note. So if you need to go between, say, a G and a B flat, if you push this lever down, it's as though you're using a thumb B flat lever just for the notes on your left hand. You don't have to lift it off. If you're going G to B flat, instead of doing this, you can just push this down and leave it. Now you might say, well, I'd rather just use my thumb B flat, but what if you have to put a B natural in there too? That's much easier than doing. And even if you get it coordinated, doing it this way, you just get a little more funkiness from the technique, from all of those keys moving, and it just gives you a little bit of risk. We might as well stay away from risk unless there's an excellent reason to take it. Usually there isn't. You just want to do what is least risky with your technique so that it will be as clean as possible. So now that everyone out there knows about your three great B flat options, thumb B flat, right hand first finger B flat, and right hand lever B flat, I'm going to go over with you some rules of thumb for B flat. Number one rule for B flat, you always have to optimize your B flats. Don't just go on autopilot and pick the one that you like best and forget that you have other options. Because I'm constantly telling students, wait a second, try using your thumb B flat for this run instead of your first finger B flat. Or try using your right hand lever. We just tend to go in a default mode where we pick and then we don't question our choice. But always optimize your B flat. Rule number two is the easiest solution typically will be your thumb B flat. So if you have the choice to pick your thumb B flat, that's what you should do. And that would mean that there are no B naturals and there are no high F sharps around. As long as those conditions are met, you should use your thumb B flat. It is the easiest solution. But that goes hand in hand with rule of thumb number three, which is you are never allowed to slide your thumb. If you are my student, I don't let you slide your thumb. Once you're no longer my student, you can make that choice if you want, but while you're my student, I won't let you. Because what gives them away when they slide is never that I'm looking at their thumb. It's that I see their flute kind of shift as their thumb is moving. And I see the balance shift and I say, you just slid your thumb, even if I didn't see the thumb itself move. So you're never allowed to slide your thumb. Well then, how do you get around that? It's pretty easy actually. Anytime that you're playing a C or a C sharp or a lot of the high notes, you lift your thumb up for those notes. So say you're playing a passage in an etude and for a lot of it you want to use your thumb B flat. But then, here comes some B naturals and here's an F sharp. So just at the nearest C natural, you lift your thumb off the B flat key, you put it on the B natural key, then you have your choice between the B flat lever here and your first finger here. On to rule of thumb number four. This one is that when and only when you're completely confident using both your thumb B flat and your right hand first finger B flat, then you should also start using your right hand lever for B flat. I tell my students it's not usually the best choice, but my guess is 5 to 10% of my B flats, that lever ends up definitely being the best choice. It's especially good in keys where you have both A sharp and B natural, or both B flat and C flat, because obviously then you can't use your thumb B flat because according to rule of thumb number, what was it? Rule of thumb number three, you can never slide your thumb. So if you're playing, say, G sharp minor, so now I'm going to have you join me while I go over the second page of Altez Etude number 10, and I'm going to write in what I would do about my B flat fingering solutions while you watch. All right, so looking at the second page here, we're going to come up with our B flat solutions. If you look at the first line, we got all these D, B flat, G, and so right off the bat you can see you are not going to use your right hand first finger B flat fingering for that, because you'd have to do on and off like that. That's just a hassle. So you're either going to use your right hand lever or your thumb lever for that one. And if it's possible, you want to choose your thumb B flat key. So let's see, is it possible? Do we have B naturals? Do we have high F sharps? Not for a while. So we're going to start out with our thumb B flat. And then we're looking for one of those, and we get to our first B natural right there. So right here we can't have our thumb on the B flat key, and we can't slide it in here because we're not allowed. So we have to look back here, and here's a C. So on this C, when you lift your thumb up anyway, you can put it on the natural, the B natural lever. So here I'm going to put X thumb because I'm moving my thumb off of that B flat key. And so here, this means I need to use a different solution for my B flats. I already mentioned I am not going to use right hand 1 this way. I don't want to go back and forth like that. So I'm going to use my right hand lever for this measure. And I will put right hand lever. You can put it however you like. Sometimes I just put a big L. And that's great because you can use that lever, and then the next measure where we get to a B natural, all you have to do is lift your finger off the lever. So simple, no sliding around, no shifting of balance. So then I want to get back to my thumb B flat if I can, because we have all these B flats again. We don't have any in here, but we've got a nice C right here. So again, here I would plus add my thumb B flat, and that means that when I get here, my thumb is down for all those B flats, and we can keep going for a while, and then we're going to come to what? Da 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 da. Uh-oh, high F sharp. But this is easy. You have a C right here, so just right there, you X your thumb so that when you get to the F sharp, your thumb's not on it. And then this C, you just add your thumb again, simple as that, so that for all these B flats, you've got your thumb down. Then, you know, you've got these little B naturals, but you have a C before it. So all you have to do is put your thumb down right here instead of right there. Very simple. And now we've made it through this page. So this is a more complicated page than most for B flats. And we've made it through. So now you can tackle your B flat solutions and always find the best solution. Like I say, just never sliding your thumb and always remembering all 3 choices that you have.